Excuse me. Well, I'm back on the vape. I was smoking a cigarette every 20 minutes awake, 18 hours a day. Do the math, that was close to 60 cigarettes a day. I was spending like £45 every 4.5 days. So £200 to £300 a month on tobacco. Couldn't afford it. Whereas this, I'm using one bottle a day, one bottle per 24 hours. So that's that'd be like about £90 a month, I think. So a lot better. Just thought I'd do an update. Suppose it's a bit awkward. Like, basically, I've not got any friends left. You know, I'd fallen out with Liam. I think it was last October. He's my best friend. Basically, it was just being a neglectful friend. Just wasn't there for me. Wasn't replying to me. And when he did reply to me, he didn't like the things that I was talking about because I was talking a lot about artificial intelligence, which he didn't seem to like. And I was becoming psychotic as well. You know, I was becoming unwell. And he'd had enough of that, you know, which is fair enough, you know. And all I said to him was, look, man, like, I'm gonna have to take a step back from the friendship because just been ignored all the time. It's really negative. It's really hurting me, you know. And then he just launched into this nasty attack about how much of a cunt I was, basically, you know, which, you know, whatever. And then, you know, there was times over the months where, like, I thought, well, he wished us a happy Christmas and all the best for the new year. But he didn't wish me it. He wished my wife it, you know. So I think that was more just him trying to reach out to my wife, you know, still be friends with my wife, you know. Because towards the end, like, he would hang out with me just to see my wife, you know, just to, you know, well, that's a bit weird, isn't it? But, you know, that's what it is. So I messaged back saying, you know, wished him all the best, all that kind of thing. And then I got this corporate style response, you know. I was like, and then I reached out a couple of times. I watched his streams, you know. I thought maybe I could. I'm not his friend anymore, but I could still be a subscriber, you know. I could still support him, support the channel, you know. He was doing like a live stream for his friend, and I put £10 in, you know. But he basically just talks to me like complete shit, you know, and then he ignored me, you know. So that wasn't possible. And then a few months later, he told, like, ever since we were children, it was me, Liam, and James were all best pals. Even though we'd kind of grown apart over the years, but and my friend James had just kind of started a new relationship, and I've told you before, I've mentioned him, he's got multiple sclerosis, and it's only going to get worse. And his biggest dream in life is to have kids, I know he always thought, who's going to have kids with me, like I've got a degenerative neurological condition that's going to get worse. But then just like almost overnight, it just sort of happened, he met this nice girl and got her pregnant, and then for whatever reason, I don't know why, when James told Liam told James to abort it, to kill the baby. James didn't react too well about it, and then Liam blocked him, and then they fell out, which was good for me. It sounds selfish, and I shouldn't feel that way, but like, I mean that me and James were like a lot closer, but the weirdest thing happened now. I had so James and Liam had fallen out. Me and Liam had fallen out. Me and James had been talking almost every day, and we were good friends. I had zero idea of anything, zero inkling. I had no suspicions whatsoever. And then I had the strangest dream, the weirdest dream. And in this dream, I suddenly found myself sitting in Liam's house at his computer. Now, I didn't want to be there. I didn't force myself to be there. I didn't try to be there. I don't know how I got there. I was asleep, and then I found myself in front of his PC. And I hesitated for a moment, I was just like, oh, what is this, But then after a moment, I thought, well, since I'm here, I might as well go on his computer and see what he's been up to, As soon as I pressed the first key, Liam appeared, and he was like, tut, tut, tut. He's like, you should know that any access to my stuff, and it alerts me, Who'd you take me for, Like, that's what it was like. I was just like, all right, whatever, like. And then he seemed to be like offering the olive branch, which he's never done in my dreams before. It's always been me chasing him. Me apologizing to him. But in this dream, he was being nice to me, and he was revealing secrets. Like, when I say secrets, he was like revealing that like our schools had been in contact with our parents regarding each other, and he was telling me this information that the school had told his parents about us, about me, and he was like revealing some stuff to me that I never really realized before, and I was receptive to it, I was like, all right, well, okay. And then he was sucking up to me, which he does a wee bit in real life as well. And one of the things he said was that, like, I'm one of the most clever people he's ever met. Well, the way he worded it was like, I'm one of the cleverest humans he's ever met. Which made me feel a bit weird. I thought after I woke up, like, he worded it, because he obviously thinks himself is the cleverest person he's ever met, That's what he thinks. But it was like, is he not human or something, like... Because what kind of regular human can invade other people's dreams? Like, that's like, I don't know if, like, if I'm Homo sapiens sapiens, like, he's Homo sapiens sapiens sapien, or if there's, like, some sort of, like, other kind of mutation, or he's an outright evil, not evil, but, like, an outright demon, or some shit like that. I don't know. Like, I don't know, because I always thought something was weird with him, you know, ever since he was a wee boy. But then, in the dream, James appeared. The pal James. And they were like, yeah, we've buried the hatchet, we've made up. We're friends now. And I was confused. I was like, what? I said, but as recently as a week ago, and this is in the dream, I said, but as recently as a week ago, James was complaining and talking all sorts of shit about you and wanting his apology, and Liam was like, mate, just forget about that. Like, we've moved on, you know, like, it's all good now. And in the dream, I rolled a cigarette. I was like, oh, fuck, man, this is a mind fuck, you know. And then Liam was like, in the dream, he was like, oh, we can all be friends now, kind of thing. I don't know if he actually said those words, but that was the implication. It was like, oh, we can all be friends again, you know. And he was like, showing me this music video, and the creepiest fucking music video came on. I can't remember the video, but the fucking tune, and then I was like, this was all too much for me, you know. I could have stayed in the dream and explored it further, but I was like, no, I need to wake up. This is too much. And then I woke up, and when I woke up, there was this tune in my head, and I should have recorded it, but it was like this freakiest tune. Like, it was like, I don't know, I can't remember how it went now, but it was like this creepy fucking like fucking tune, you know. And I had that music stuck in my head, and like, and then I woke up and I was angry. I was like, and I was confused. I was like, how does Liam have the power to get into people's heads? How does he have the power to invade people's dreams? Because this isn't the first time that he's done it. When I fell out with him before, when I had a psychotic episode, I dreamed about him like every week, you know, that I was apologizing to him and trying to be friends with him again. And then I'd wake up thinking, oh, we made up. And then I'd be like, no, it was just a dream. I was like, oh, fuck. And then so anyway, so I woke up from this dream. I thought that wasn't a normal dream. So I messaged James, and this is like 12 o'clock at night, 1 o'clock in the morning. So I messaged James, how did it go getting your apology from Liam? I just had the strangest dream. He was in bed, he must have been asleep. And a few hours later, when he woke up, oh yeah, man, about a week ago, I went round and buzzed him. He was shocked to see me. And he was dead apologetic, and he apologised. He sees that his reaction, telling me to kill my baby, was wrong, you know. And now it's all good, man. And when did this happen? A week ago. Like in the dream when I said it was a week ago, yeah. And then I just laughed. I was like, how the fuck is it that I'm having that Liam is invading my dreams? How is it that I'm having dreams about reality That like hidden knowledge about reality. How is that possible? And then it just started making me think like something's wrong with reality. Something's wrong. Like this, that can't be possible. You know. Like, am I being psychotic again? Like, is that what psychosis is? You know. I don't know. I felt betrayed by James, you know. Like, it's fair enough, James was holding on to a lot of anger, and I can see why he wanted his apology, you know. He was losing a lot of sleep over it. And I said to him, I'm happy for you, you know, I'm happy you got your apology, you know, even though you scared him at his home, like he was scared. You basically jump scared him at his at his home and scared the shit out of him. Like, he had no choice but to apologise, you know. It's not like Liam reached out because he had a change of heart. And out of the goodness of his heart, he apologised. No, you scared him at his home and he shot himself. But anyway, you got your apology. Okay. Happy for you. But how come no cunt told me? Like you got his apology a week ago. Why didn't he tell me? Why is it that I'm having to rely on fucking Liam invading my dreams to tell me this shit? And it started making me think, like, that wasn't Liam offering the olive branch in my dream, it was Liam gloating in my dream, you know? I don't know. And so I blocked James. I had to. So now I've got no friends. And it's like, and here's one of the reasons why I realised that I blocked James as well. Because there was a time when I fell out with Liam before, and I was trying to make up with him. I was trying to reach out to Liam. And I emailed Liam this heartfelt apology. But unbeknownst to me at the time, I'd sent it to Liam's old email address that he doesn't monitor anymore. And so Liam missed it. And I was like, the way I worded that and what I said, it should have worked. Why has Liam not got back to me? And Liam was still friendly with James at this point. And I said to James, I said, I've emailed Liam this apology, but I've not gotten anything back. What's going on? James, oh man, I don't know. Like, if James was a real friend, he would have went to Liam and said, by the way, Thomas has emailed you this thing. What, have you not got it? But no, James was happy for me not to be friends with Liam. So James wants to be friends with Liam, and James wants to be friends with me, but he doesn't want me and Liam to be friends. I see how it is. Right. Okay. So I thought, nah, that's not friend behaviour, you know. So they can have each other. They can be best friends. Because I hope he's happy, you know. I hope he's happy at Liam replying once every 4 days, pestering him to go out drinking all the time. Fucking bizarre world, man. Fucking weird. So apart from that, nothing much going on. Nothing much going on. Starting a new leaf. On the bright side, though, it's made me feel much better about my dogs. You know, I was getting, excuse me, I was getting quite resentful towards my dogs. So I was like, oh, if I didn't have these dogs, I could jump on the train, I could see James, and I could hang out with people and play games and watch movies, see people, do things. But these darn dogs, I can't get away from them, you know? But now I'm just like, I love my dogs, you know? At least my dogs would never lie to me. At least my dogs would never betray me. And it's been good. Buffy. Little scruffy Buffy. So it's just me and my dogs, yeah. And then I made the mistake of messaging Lindsay and telling her like a very cut down, brief version of what happened. And then Lindsay phones me up, and I get about 4 hours of sleep a night. And if I'm lucky, I'll get like an extra 1 or 2 hours of sleep in the afternoon. So I was having my afternoon nap, and I got a phone call, and I'm like, hello? And I was downloading a game at the time, so I had bad Wi-Fi, and Lindsay always calls over Wi-Fi for some fucking reason. And she's like, Thomas, hello? I'm like, hello? Are you there? Yeah, I'm here. Fuck's sake, then never mind. And I'm like, I can hear you. Fuck off. And she hangs up on me. I'm like, why is she getting angry at me? Because I've got a bad signal? And it turns out she was angry at me because I'd blocked the James, you know? It's his life, he can do what he wants. Yeah. It's my life, I can abandon you and the dogs if I want. It's his life, he can betray you and lie to you if he wants. Everyone's got their lives and their entitlements except me, you know? Which I think is fucking hilarious. Still getting used to this. It's better than smoking though. It's a lot better than smoking. Because I can use this non-stop. Whereas a cigarette, you have to take a break every once in a while, you know? But yeah, me and Lindsay, we made up after a while. But she was ready to fall out with me over it. Which made me suspicious. I was like, is she getting defensive or projecting here because she's friends with Liam still or something? Which she denied, you know. But I think she must be a bit resentful, or there's definitely something going on. I think Lindsay was angry that I'd fucked up my chance to make friends with Liam again, you know, because she wanted to see him again. Because Lindsay and Liam were good friends, you know. And maybe she was angry that she thought... See, because she's operating on the wrong fucking operating system, you know. Because Lindsay's thinking oh, if James makes up with Liam, then maybe Thomas could make up with Liam, and they could all be friends again. And then Lindsay and Liam can be friends, and it can be like old times. That's what she's thinking. But she doesn't understand that James ain't thinking that. James ain't going to support that. He's not going to facilitate that. Truth is, yeah, I would love nothing more than to make up with Liam. I would love to. But why is it always me chasing Liam? Why is it always me reaching out to Liam? Why is it always me apologising to Liam? Where's my apology? Where's my reaching out? Anyway, how long's this video? Oh, 26 minutes. Oh, fuck. Well, it's a long one, so I don't know how... I don't know if this is even going to upload. Peace.